Good morning and welcome to West. I am so glad that you are worshiping with us, whether it is on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. or if you are watching us on demand. It is our hope that we can be a faith community for you and offer you meaningful and relevant ways to connect with God and have life transformation so that we can live our best lives together. My name is Andrea Smith. I have the privilege of being the pastor here, and honestly, today is just going to be one of the coolest days of worship ever. You're not going to listen to me, which makes it pretty cool. But the coolest thing is, people are really sort of done with church and find God and ways to connect with God and spirituality in so many ways that are not found in organized religion. But as a pastor, as a preacher, as a leader, we here at West, I believe in organized religion. I do, but I believe it needs to be done with authenticity and a real pathway to faith. A year and a half, oh my gosh, almost 2 years ago, I had the privilege of interviewing Lexi Hernandez. And she came and did an interview with us about human trafficking, sex trafficking, and it just began a beautiful journey. Lexi then started coming to West, and then we hired her as an intern to do grunt work, and very quickly saw just a real giftedness and a real calling in Lexi's heart. It's just strange how things always seem to work out. Over the next several months, doors opened and pathways were created, none of which were our doing or our idea, actually. And Lexi came to me and said, would you mind if I started something for, 20-year-olds, 20 to 30-year-olds that don't want to have anything really to do with like a church, but really want to connect with faith? Would you mind? I'm like, oh my gosh, no, not ever. And so that began just this beautiful relationship and the new multi-site of West that launched just a few weeks ago, actually. Lexi has a launch team, and they've been diligently working for months and months. And what they are offering is a both and kind of church, much like what we now are offering, an in-person opportunity and also a permanent online opportunity. Lexi has people that are a part of their campus or their faith community that are from all over the United States. And she is a gifted leader. You are going to hear from some of the members of their launch team. I know that today you are just going to leave excited that the church has a future. And it is in such amazing young people. Like, I watched the panel interview, and it made me have tears in my eyes and goosebumps multiple times because it's so powerful and authentic. And I know that we all know some young people that don't want to be a part of church. Maybe we're even kin to them. I invite you to share with them the message today, and then we'll be sharing with you how you can encourage them to just check it out on social media and maybe find out more information about Growth Co. I do thank God every time I think of Lexi. I thank God for her and the ministry that she is so passionate about creating. And we're actually going to copy that ministry. When Lexi came to us and gave us the vision for Growth Co. that her team had been working on, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant, 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 brilliant. It can revolutionize the way that we do religion and church. And it's all about a subscription box. Now that may seem hokey to you and you're like, oh my gosh, we're just trying to copy culture. Actually, it's important that we be a part of culture and not turn up our noses at that. I don't know about you, but I love to get subscription boxes. Like, for a while I did the makeup box, and then I did the Stitch Fix box where they send you clothes. I mean, I'd get so excited about, and usually 9 times out of 10, they could nail it for me. And then we started a subscription box ministry for our children's ministry, and that revolutionized and turned around and transformed our children's ministry. And Lexi and her team, they took the initiative to think, why not do it for religion period, for adults. And so they created a Growth Co subscription box. I am way past their age demographic, but I have asked if I could receive one of these. It has really cool things like a recipe that they're going to create together. And then the powerful part of it is this has the spiritual components. So there's a welcome, and then there are weekly meditational quotes and Bible verses on the back. There is a playlist that you can scan a QR code and listen to the music. There is an explanation of what the whole box is about. There are ways to connect with people, and ways to serve, ways to use our gifts to make a difference in the world. And then there's a nostalgic item, because they are in their 20s and 30s. And so each of their boxes contains an item of nostalgia. So they have Play-Doh in this box. And then there's a sustainability item. And so they have these cute little seeds that they're going to encourage everybody to make. And then they have this really cool organic bar of soap. So this is the Growth Co subscription box. It also has meditation questions for every week in their series that they are going to be talking about with one another on social media. It's a very non-threatening, but also a very transformational way to talk about faith. And I just believe this is going to be a game changer in the 20 and 30-year-olds, not just in our community, but far beyond. I really hope you will be in prayer for this ministry. I would hope that some of your financial dollars that you contribute to West would also go to Growth Co. It's one of the items that you can choose when you give generously to West. The potential that they have to make an impact in our world is limitless, and I'm so proud and excited that they are a part of West. I turn it over to Growth Co.
Hey everybody, my name is Lexi Hernandez. I'm here with some of my closest friends. Thank you guys for being here and for coming to this panel. Tonight we are going to be talking to you about Growth Co. We're going to tell you all about it. We're going to dive into our own spiritual journeys and see where this thing is going to take us. So to start off, let's just go around and introduce ourselves and maybe give a little background on our spiritual journey growing up.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start. I'm Lane Smith. I grew up in the church. My mom's a preacher. I grew up as a preacher's kid in the United Methodist Church. I participated in church virtually when I was through college, and I attend church on a regular basis here in Mooresville. That's kind of my background on the church, I guess you could say.
I am a little distracted right now. I'm JT. I was actually raised Catholic with an Italian family, so that was pretty strict. And then I went through a phase where I kind of didn't really know if I believed anything, and then kind of got reintroduced to the church here, and restarted my experience, I guess you would say.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Snipes. I was raised in the church. I also am a preacher's kid. My dad is a preacher, and so I was raised in the United Methodist Church. And when I went to college, I was kind of questioning a little bit. I ended up going to a non-denominational church there, but it didn't really click with me. And then when I came back here, I came to West, and it's been awesome. So.
And technology is great. So we have two people up here. We've got Sabrina and Brandon. They can't see us, but we can see them. So Sabrina, do you want to go ahead and share?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Sabrina. I'm actually physically in Tennessee right now. I've known Lexi for forever, pre-Christ. We'll just put it that way. And I was saved when I was 11 and didn't act like it at all. Went through high school and college, just not following the Lord at all. And then through college and through the degree I was going for, Jesus definitely came after my heart. And I started leading worship at a church in Mooresville at Rocky Mount Church, the Methodist Church. And I was leading worship there up until last year when I just followed the call of God to come out here to Tennessee, Nashville, actually, and now I'm attending the Belonging Co. church, and I actually go to their college here for worship leading. So that's where I am now.
And I'm Brandon Fries. I was raised in a Methodist church. My aunt, who was married into our family when I was in middle school, she was a preacher. And whenever, I think it was like probably my senior year of high school, I just kind of got away from all that. Like we as a family, like we stopped going to church, not really intentionally. I played sports growing up, and it was travel on the weekends and everything. And that was just kind of how you lose sight of it. But, go through college and a couple years after until, I find out about Growth Co. And I think it's a really, really good start just to get back on the right track with the Lord.
I'm Lexi. I did not grow up in any type of spiritual household. My parents are believers, but they're not active in the church or anything like that. I actually met JT at the Cove in Mooresville for the middle school like youth nights, but that was more of a social thing than it had anything to do with God for me. So it's probably been about 3 or 4 years now since I've started my journey back up. I work at a United Methodist church in Mooresville, and now heavily involved in the Growth Co. organization. So I'm definitely trying to find my way and my spiritual path again.
And my name's Tony, and I grew up in the Pentecostal church. My papa was a preacher, and kind of grew up pretty strict, being that persuasion of church. And eventually through sports in high school, kind of like Brandon was saying, kind of lost sight, strayed from God. And now since graduating college and meeting Lexi and marrying Lexi, we decided together to start walking back towards God and working on our spiritual life.
All right, so Sabrina and Lane, I'm going to single you guys out for a minute because I'm really curious to hear your answers to this question. What do you think makes Growth unique?
I think right off the bat, it's simply that we all come from different areas, different backgrounds, different families, different experiences, spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs. No one person in this group is the same. And I think that's one of my favorite things, because it's about bringing people together from different backgrounds and stories and finding one common good. And I think that's the beauty of Growth Co. and something that I think our generation has been missing for so long because we've been so divided on so many random things. I just think it provides a good opportunity, and it's unique because every person here is unique. As cheesy as that sounds, I think that kind of sums it up for my perspective.
Yeah, definitely going based off of what you said about everyone coming from different backgrounds, like 100% that is Growth Co. and just like the uniqueness of it. And also just like I'm in Tennessee, and like I know that we during COVID and everything, we were having Zoom calls, and I just remember like so many people being in so many different areas, like in different states and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought it was so cool. And it just reminded me of how much 2020 has reminded all of us that like the church isn't just four walls. And I think that Growth Co. is like going to manifest that and like grow in that, and just like, yeah, the church isn't four walls. You could literally be sitting out on a bench at a park or something and still having fellowship and still meeting people. And the awesome thing about Growth Co. is that it doesn't matter if you grew up in a church. It doesn't matter if you're super spiritual and if you're exploring that. And I think that's what I love most about it, is that it's like completely open doored. So I would say that's what makes it most unique to me.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And JT. And if you guys have noticed, our little buddy Asher over here, this is JT's son. Hi.
Hi.
You say hi.
In you guys' opinion, what's the difference between being spiritual and religious?
So to me, being spiritual is believing in something bigger than yourself or something bigger than humanity. Just knowing that there is a higher being out there than you and me. And then religion is following specific practices that a church does or something, or believing the same things that a church does. So like, for example, Christians believe in God, and then like Catholics believe different things than Protestants, and so on and so forth. So I feel like spirituality is just believing overall that there's a higher being, and religion is following specific practices depending on what religion you're in.
I have to answer that same question?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. That's almost exactly what I would have said. Just believing in something bigger than yourself is spirituality, and then religion is following a set of rules that's laid out for you. You know, like she said, Catholics and Protestants, you know, being raised Catholic, you have one set of rules. Being raised Baptist, you have another set of rules. You know, it just depends on where you come from. You have a whole different like outline of what you're supposed to live by. But being spiritual is just believing in there's something bigger than yourself. So
do you think you would recommend Growth Co to other young parents out there?
yeah, absolutely. One, just because Lane said earlier, everyone's different, and you know, everyone's so welcoming. Obviously, like a young dad, and that's different from everyone else here. But it doesn't matter. You know, everyone's super welcoming, and it's just a really cool experience to meet new people and, you know, grow together. Growth Co. Yeah, I mean, it's other young parents. This was definitely a really cool experience to have.
Cool. Well, we love that you bring Asher. So
Yeah.
he keeps the rest of us from fulfilling our baby fever. He can be Growth Co's child. We will just all
and be the
raise him
mascot.
together.
Be a mascot, Bubba.
Yeah. All right, Brandon and Tony. So it's kind of a common thing for other generations to think our generation really is passionate about making a difference in the world. How do you guys feel that Growth Co is making a difference in people's lives, or can, if it hasn't yet?
So like, I can honestly speak from personal experience about this. I know for like quite a long time in my life, like probably from my senior year of high school until probably 2019 or so, maybe like a 5-year span there, I didn't think there was much to do for someone like me in terms of just like getting better. You know, going down the wrong track is one thing, but I thought I'd broken down on that wrong track, and you know, there's just no way back up. And something like Growth Co is good for, you know, someone like me who's just made some mistakes in the past. It's the lack of judgment, that type thing. It's like, it's never too late to get on the right track. And I think that I had been down on myself for so long. It just took something like this to really, you know, snap it into place, and just, you know, anyone can be saved. And it doesn't take, you know, going back to church necessarily. It just took the right person to come into contact with me, and just the right type of outings and get-togethers and that type of thing. You know, I think that it's really cool how it helped me for sure. And I think that it could do the same for a lot of people like me, you know.
I think that Growth Co is a good like community just to find other people in your age group that may not have experience with the church or with just a community in general, especially with the times we're going through now with not being able to see people. And I mean, social interaction is what we're here for. And if we don't have it, we definitely will notice and go down the wrong hill or the wrong path, like Brandon was saying. But I definitely can see just having a community that's available to reach out, do things, and meet, greet, and just demonstrate to people that you can be from all different walks of your faith or whatever you're going through, and join a community and have that social interaction. And that's enough to change anybody's life, I think.
So one really cool thing about Growth Co that made me the most interested at the beginning is the fact that we do outings. that are all on different platforms. We do virtual, we do in person, we do big group outings, we do small group outings. One thing that we talked about when we were kind of planning everything, we were talking about, well, at this age, it's kind of hard financially to do a lot of stuff on the weekends and stuff. Sometimes you just want to hang out with friends, but you don't have to spend a lot of money while doing it. So we try to come up with some financially respectable things to do without, burning a hole in your pocket. And I really liked how we could plan those together and just meet everybody where they are. And just like that.
Do you love the outings too, buddy?
Yeah.
And kids are welcome.
So if we were out at an outing, and normally, well, so far our outings have been at restaurants, bars, breweries. We've been to a karaoke bar, which is always like our go-to thing. It's so much fun to go there as a group. If a random person were to walk up and kind of notice that we're a group and we're coming in very squad heavy and they're wondering what we're about and what we're doing, the typical thing and kind of our elevator speech to sum up what it is that we do and what our goals are is that we are a faith-based experience, faith-infused experience, and we try to build meaningful and lasting relationships. All of us have really grown to know each other and get to know each other and have friendships on levels that I honestly don't know if I've experienced before. I mean, I've known some of you for years, but it's like Growth Co is what it's taken to really get us on that next level of friendship. And I know that I can come to all of you for anything, no matter what. And I hope that that's something that we can provide to anybody who's looking for it. It's through that connection and community that we can build relationships with other people. We can help strengthen our relationship with ourselves. And we're just hoping to make ourselves and the people who want to be involved better human beings. Yeah. And the digital community, of course. It's so cool that Sabrina, who we know here locally, is in Nashville, and she's such a huge part of Growth Co. And she's able to make everything that she can. She'll come to the outings when she can. She Zooms all the time. And same with Brandon. He's a little closer. He's in Charlotte, but even on nights like tonight where he may have had a crazy work schedule or something else going on, he's still able to be a part of it. And it just brings so much value to us in the organization to be able to not limit ourselves geographically. And that's just been so awesome and such a great opportunity.
One thing that I just thought about while you were talking is Growth Co kind of holds you accountable. It's really easy to kind of just get in your own personal bubble. My family call it my island that I go on and I stay by myself. But Growth Co really does help. Yeah, it really does help bring you together and just kind of make sure you stay social, especially in the times of COVID when it's super easy just to kind of, isolate yourself. And I really like that about this group is you are kind of required to go hang out with some friends because you want to, and it's a fun, engaging, and open and non-threatening group. So,
Sorry.
Go ahead, Sabrina. You go.
I was just gonna add on that. That was awesome. And for me, like, it's not only like the social aspect, like obviously because I'm in Tennessee, so I don't get to go to every single outing. But for me, being in my mid-20s and being in college and just living life in general, Growth Co, just like the Zoom calls or when I've been in town for whatever reason and we do meet, it is such like a grounding thing for me, like to just be able to like pause and breathe and be like, how are you guys? And just like touch base with everyone. And it's like mobile home. Like it's like, it just is such a community and like just like family really. And so when I do get to come on a Zoom call or do whatever, I know some of our Zoom calls have like been like literally Lane, JT, me, Lexi, and Tony, like, but even that was like, it was so good and it was so needed. And I think that's just like the thing I love most about Growth Co, for me at least, is just it's such a great way then in the midst of like this world right now, especially this world right now, it's just to like slow down and just be like, hey guys, how's life? So that reminded me of that.
And it's totally okay that life may not be okay. That's one thing that all of you guys have taught me. Am and do have the like crappiest days. And I know, like, I cried earlier today in our staff meeting, and sitting here right now, I don't even know what I could have cried about. Like, you guys just always are lifting me up, and it's just such a good group to be with. And I can honestly say that obviously about you guys because we have grown super close, but anybody who has come into Growth Co, we had a new person named John at our last one this past weekend, and he just had nothing but nice things to say. And it was as if like I'd known him for forever. It was so easy to talk to him. And I think that people our age forget that we all go through things where we just need other people. So whether you're having a good time in life or a more difficult season, like I can honestly say that Growth Co is there for me no matter what end I'm on or experiencing at the moment.
Yeah.
What I think is super cool about Growth Co is that we're all relatively the same age, but we're all at such different places in our lives. Like, you guys are married, I'm getting married, you know, you've got Asher, you're with JT, we've got some single people. I mean, it's just really cool to have conversations with all these people that are at such different points in their lives. And I can learn a lot from everybody, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, I can touch on that as well too. Like, I know I'm in Charlotte. I mean, you know, it's a lot of people here, and there's a lot of people I know here. But it seems like with my job, I work such a crazy, like, weird schedule. It's like, you know, I'm a very spur of the moment person. If I need money, I work, and if I want to have fun, I go have fun. It's like Growth Co kind of gives me something that, I've not been a great person in scheduling stuff, but like, to have those things to look forward to is, just like, it gets me on my stuff, like, to where I can, it gives me something to look forward to, it gives me something to make some money for, to look forward to going to, that type of thing. Because, for a while, I was living just day by day. And now it's like, I'm looking forward to the potluck dinners and the Zooms. So it gives me something to look forward to for sure.
All right, well, thank you all for being here. It was so good to get to talk to you guys and see everybody again. And this is such a humble reminder that Growth Co is something that we all need, because I know I definitely need it, but it's nice to hear that you guys are getting as much from it as I feel like I am as well. If you would like more information or to see some more things that we do via social media, our Instagram and Facebook page is at The Growth Co Life, and you can send us DMs, you can like our posts. We would just love to reach out to you however you are most comfortable. If you're watching, I hope that you reach out or give us some information and we can reach out to you. We would love to have you be a part of Growth Co and grow the family. Bye.
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 Are you good, Asher?
Good.
You good? You want to tell them bye-bye?
Asher,
Say
can you tell
bye-bye?
Will you pray with me? Gracious God, we are so grateful for young men and women that are willing to take a step out in faith and boldly say, hey, I am a person of faith, I'm a person of spirituality, and I want to use the love of God to make a difference in this world. We ask for your blessings on Lexi and Growth Co and all the lives that they have an impact with, and a way of reaching out and touching. Just be with them and instill them in your grace. God, work in us so that we may be like Growth Co and willing to step out and do things differently, see things differently, so that we can always be your people and truly be your church. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for pushing us and pulling us along when perhaps we don't see new ways of doing things. And we offer ourselves to you in Christ's holy name. Amen. See you next week.